Today I actually wanted to do a plant video on the lipstick plant. As you can see, this plant is a little bit different looking. There's a variety of lipstick plants out there, and this is just one specifically called the, there you go, Black Pagoda. And I actually have been seeing the lipstick plant quite a bit. Now, when I go to nurseries and things like that, and what I thought from it is a lot of times when I see it, I figured, you know what, like it's probably going to be this beautiful flower that comes on because it looked pretty plain overall. The leaves don't typically look as mottled or variegated as this, as you can see here. And so usually it's just a plain green, and it wasn't really anything too spectacular. Although I knew, I was like, okay, so if it's got a name like lipstick plant, the flowers have to be crazy. The thing about this plant though is, and I didn't realize this when I got this plant, is that it actually has a green flower. And so I don't know if I'm real happy about that. I was really hoping that it would have a very pretty red kind of opposite of what the color of the leaves, obviously. But the leaves are just so magnificent and so beautiful that I just had to get it. And so yeah, so I got it, and it will definitely add to my collection. But I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about it. This lipstick plant that comes in a lot of varieties. So this is the Black Pagoda plant. And then there is a whole list, which I'm going to put up for you now, a whole list of different variety of different types of lipstick plants. Now you can see, I think this is not even the full list, but I'm going to also link here that you'll see, and also in the description box. It's from COSTA Farms. They actually have pictures of each one, so I thought that was kind of cool and nice to be able to reference when I actually was kind of looking up more about this plant. Plant that it is a tropical and trailing. It's something that I would probably keep indoors. You could probably bring it outdoors when it's springtime. Sure, you really want it to stay between 60 to 95, somewhere around there. And if it falls below that or goes higher than that, you probably want to bring it indoors. Flower that comes out almost, I think it looks like a trumpet looking flower, is red in color, and usually the trumpet part of it that's kind of holding the part of the flower is actually kind of a maroony deep color. And so I'll put the pictures here too as well. As far as other things with the colors, you can see that it's just when it does bloom, it got a great splash of color. If you get the kind that actually has the red flowers, and it's got kind of a mottled, or you could say variegated foliage. And yeah, so then, and the another nice thing that's kind of neat is if you look at the back of the leaf, almost like a red maroonish color, as you can see. So that kind of adds to I really feel like this is going to be more for the leaf than anything else, that I'm going to be able to appreciate it. As far as the sun, I've been reading different things. Some sites say that it needs you can put it in the sun. Most of the sites that I'm seeing, though, it sounds like partial shade to dappled shade, maybe like light kind of shining through. So I definitely think you have to be very careful so you don't burn the leaves and things like that. So I would probably put it somewhere where it's still bright, but also not directly in the sun. If it's not growing flowers, you might want to try to consider maybe a spot that's a little brighter, because that could be the culprit of the reason why it's not blooming. As far as watering the lipstick plant, the most important thing, as with many plants, is that you don't want to end up developing root rot. And so this type of plant, you want to keep the soil moist but not soggy, and you don't want to oversaturate it as well, because that's just going to promote the root rot. Planting too, this is great for a basket. And when you're replanting, what I would do is, if you're going to do a pot, make sure that it's not too big, and obviously not smaller than this. Maybe double the size, and that's it. Don't triple the size. Don't quadruple the size. Just do maybe a little bit bigger than the size that you already have it in, and that will help it to grow as well. You may notice some stunting of growth if you do put it in too big of a pot. As far as fertilizing, the spring and the summertime are the best times to do that. Fertilizing in the spring and the summer, what it's going to do basically is help you have more flowers. And so you can use just a general, I like to use Miracle-Gro. I think Miracle-Gro grows great. Of course, there's different formulations. Just kind of a general formulation is good. The kind of straight across the board formulation, nothing too acidic, nothing too, you're just kind of right in the middle. Typically you're going to want to do the fertilization once a month during the spring and the summer. And that's obviously going to help it grow, and that's obviously going to help it bloom. Propagation. Propagation. Now, I have never propagated this plant. This plant's still fairly new to me. And so what I have read though, and I could see how this could be, if you look at the little stems here, let's see if we can find, and my nails are a little bit dirty from playing in the dirt, but you can look at the stems and you can kind of see that there's these like little nodes. Let's see if I can find a good one. You can kind of see where, there we go. You can kind of see that little node there. And I would assume that you want to cut under that node and then put it in water. This does not seem like this is going to be a plant that's hard to propagate. I don't know though, but it says from the stem cuttings. So I've had many plants that are kind of like this, and I propagate from them and they do just great. So propagation sometimes takes a little while. It's something that you got to be patient with, and just find yourself some glass bottles. You know, if you drink kombucha or you drink beer, I don't know, and get the glass bottles, fill them up with water, and then, like I said, with the propagation, you want to cut below the node and give the stem enough, maybe even like this much stem, like maybe even doing to here, and yeah, maybe even doing to like there, and then taking the leaves off and then putting it in the water and making sure that the leaves aren't, you don't have any leaves that are in the actual water, because that can rot and just kill it altogether. So here's the thing about this, as I kind of mentioned earlier, what I was expecting from the lipstick plant was a red flower. But the black pagoda is just a type of a lipstick plant that unfortunately, or I guess some may say that this is just fun for variety, it doesn't have that bright red flower that you normally see. I'm actually going to put a picture up of what I could find of what the flower looks like. I've never seen it before. It's so pretty, but I do like the actual red, hallmark red lipstick plant flower that you typically expect from this type of plant. So, but that's okay though, because I still can get the other ones, and then it will just kind of add to the variety. Typically is going to bloom in the spring and the summer, and that's no surprise for a lot of plants like these. That's why you're also going to want to fertilize around that time too. It can grow up to 10 to 15 inches long, so that's something that, like I said, you could propagate very easily and give it for gifts. About the temperature, we want the temperature typically to be 60 to 95 degrees. That is going to be best. And then an interesting thing to kind of close this video is that it's actually supposed to purify the air. I did think that was kind of interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing this grow. I love the leaves. This is one of the reasons why I got it. I've gone by lipstick plants before, and the leaves were just not, it wasn't flowering, and so there was nothing particularly interesting to me about it. I knew it would probably get interesting, but this was just, I thought the leaves were just so beautiful, and sometimes it's not just about the flowers, it's a lot of times about the leaves as well. So I'm super excited to see what this will do, and if you like this kind of video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel, and also hit the notification bell for more videos like this. And until next time, guys.